This just into CBS Sports HQ. The Tampa Bay Rays won't be splitting time in Montreal. That plan has been effectively quashed by Major League Baseball, according to the St. Petersburg Times. The team will now have to rekindle its effort to build a new stadium in the Tampa area. The Rays are bound by its lease at Tropicana through 2027. Here's more from Rays owner Stuart Sternberg.
I have no doubt that what we tried to accomplish with our Sister City plan will become accepted in all of Major League and professional sports. Major League Baseball simply isn't prepared to cross that threshold right now. We remain sincerely grateful to all of those who helped us put this plan together and advocate for its boldness and to keep the Rays in Tampa Bay and return baseball to Montreal. The open-mindedness and strong support we receive from civic, business, and political leaders across Tampa Bay and up in Quebec is greatly appreciated. To all of you, please know how thoroughly disappointed I am that we won't be able to see this through. We're indebted to you. You embody the vision and spirit that would have united and uplifted two incredible forward-thinking North American regions. You dared to dream big alongside us, adding your hearts and minds and precious time to our efforts. You embrace the potential over the status quo. You embody what it means to be a Tampa Bay Ray. I want to thank each of you individually. However, the list is too long for this setting today. We also appreciate the passionate members of our Rays community who are not fans of the Sister City pursuit, yet were willing to listen and engage in constructive, thoughtful dialogue. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank our partners and friends in Montreal, Pierre, William, Richard, Danielle, and in particular Stephen Bronfman, who has been a cohort merveilleux. Despite this result, I know our camaraderie and friendships will endure. Thank you for sharing with us your love of baseball and Montreal's desire for its return. I'm grateful to our Rays employees for their typical yet extraordinarily creativity and determination. They took a spark of an idea and fashioned it into a plan, and they put us in a position to make this groundbreaking plan a reality. There's a virtue in pursuing something you believe in, and I am proud of our efforts to determine that these years of pursuit and ingenuity will lead to something positive for our organization. Our ball club is coming off 3 consecutive postseason appearances, including a trip to the World Series, 2 American League titles, and a 100-win season. This is due to our players, their hard work and devotion, and to our entire organization for supporting them, helping them flourish, and propelling the team to near magical performances. We are all looking forward to our 2022 club and the season ahead. That's what it's really all about, and that's why I'm still encouraged despite today's discouraging news. The Rays organization will be one that continues to make Tampa Bay proud, both on and off the field. We're interwoven into the fabric of our region, and we are daily contributors to what makes Tampa Bay so unique. Our goal is, and always has been, for the Rays to thrive here in Tampa Bay today and in future generations as well.
All right, for more on this, let's bring in one of our MLB experts, a man very familiar with baseball on both sides of the 49th parallel, our David Samson. David, you said back in September on your podcast, Nothing Personal with David Samson, that the two-city solution was not the answer. So I'll start by asking you for your thoughts on what you heard from Sternberg today.
Well, we knew from the beginning, and anyone watching HQ with you knows that we talked about, not just on the podcast, that is not viable. There's no way the players were ever going to give permission to have a split city solution. And there's no way that Montreal and Tampa were both going to build new ballparks when neither one can do it right now. And then on top of that, you're in a collective bargaining situation where there is tons of disagreement between owners and players. All of that came together today. It was critical to get a deal done in collective bargaining for this split city situation not to even be discussed, not to be on the table. They don't want any distractions, the owners or the players, to getting a deal done. So they decided we've gotten the leverage we need. It's time to put this plan to rest so players don't think we're going to give something as owners in order to get their approval for this split city plan.
Okay, so now what happens for the Tampa Bay Rays?
It's the same thing that's been happening the entire time they've been talking about it. It's all being done to leverage the Tampa Bay government, local, city, state, to get more money toward a ballpark in Tampa. And if that doesn't happen and the lease at Tropicana Field runs out, the team will be sold. It's that simple.
So what is the likelihood that they could relocate? I mean, if they're sold, do you expect them to stay in Tampa, or would this be a team that's looking at other markets?
Major League Baseball will not allow a team to relocate to a city where that city could take on an expansion team. So this is a pretty complicated situation. Baseball wants to get to 32 teams, 16 in the American League, 16 in the National League. To do that, you have 2 cities. Could it be Vegas? Could it be Montreal, Nashville, Portland? It doesn't matter. You have to have cities bidding to pay $1 billion in expansion fees to the other owners. They're not going to give Stuart Sternberg one of those cities until they get the money from a third party for expansion.
So it's about money.
It's about money, Jeremy. It's always been about money. Will Tampa give Stu Sternberg enough money to get a ballpark done in Tampa? That is the goal for Major League Baseball, because then all potential relocation cities become expansion candidates. That's why baseball wants the Oakland A's in Oakland, the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa. Then all these other cities can fight it out for 2 expansion franchises, and the fee can be at least $1 billion per city. That would be magic.
Okay, so this is obviously disappointing for baseball fans in Montreal. David, I mean, you were executive vice president of the Montreal Expos from 1999 through 2002. You know what baseball is like in Canada and I want to say the fever for it, but I mean, Montreal was a city that's lost its team. So disappointment for them. What does the future look like for baseball there?
I thought it was very nice of Stu Sternberg to thank Stephen Bronfman, but we could give Stephen Bronfman a little message right now. The Expos would still be in Montreal if Stephen Bronfman had stepped up in 1999, 2000, 2001, or 2002. Now, in order to get a team back, you have to get a new ballpark built. You have to get a TV deal in English and in French negotiated. And you have to get a naming rights partner that is going to pay more than $1 million Canadian per year. So all of those things are what they could do in Montreal to guarantee that a team can go back to Montreal. You need to have naming rights, TV, a new ballpark, and an owner who can pay the expansion fee of over $1 billion. I was
going to say,
it's that simple, Jeremy.
You have to find $1 billion somewhere hiding in the couch in order to bring a team back to Canada. He is the host of Nothing Personal with David Samson's podcast. David Samson giving us his thoughts on Tampa Bay's announcement that the Rays will not be splitting time in Montreal moving forward. A very complex situation, which David will gladly go into more detail about on his podcast, Nothing Personal with David Samson. Be sure to download and follow the podcast. It's sports, it's entertainment, it's information you can use with David's unique insight and style. Download and follow the Nothing Personal with David Samson podcast wherever you get your podcast audio. You can also watch the show on YouTube.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.